Hello, friends, and welcome! You didn't expect that.
Welcome back!
Welcome back. It's a Fool's Perspective. This is first one we're doing in a couple weeks.
It's been a rough couple weeks.
First Fool's Perspective proper we've done in a couple weeks. Last week we did the Avengers preview, and then came the longest fucking weekend of my life.
You did the Avengers preview.
Well, yeah, that was a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if that how that stacked up to the movie, because we made a lot of predictions.
Can't relate.
Kayla hasn't seen it yet, so we're not going to talk about Avengers. Today, we're going to talk about the other incredibly massive thing that happened this past weekend. Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones Season 8.
Game of Thrones Episode 3?
3.
What is it called?
The Battle of Winterfell.
I don't think that's what the episode was called.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I think the episode was called The Long Night.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure. Doesn't that make sense?
Why did everybody keep referring to it as the Battle of Winterfell?
Because it was literally the Battle of Winterfell. But I think the episode, if you look back, is titled The Long Night. Go ahead, look it up.
Okay.
Because when I see articles talking about it, they refer to it as The Long Night.
Game of Thrones.
Episode 3.
Episode
3, title.
Episode 3. Title.
Pretty sure it'll pop up. I don't think it's going to do Season 1, Episode 3. And you see, on the Google, the Google machine says.
Well, I just have to. Should I go to Wiki?
I guess. Because it doesn't say. When you first watch the episode on HBO Now or whatever, or HBO Go, it only just says the number of the episode. It doesn't say the name until later on.
Here we go. Here we go.
You are taking a long time here. I'm trying to fill the dead air.
It wasn't obvious, The Long Night.
Thank you. Okay. It took you a while, but I'm right, as per usual. Anyway.
That was a super emotional night, especially because I was just saying to you that I had to watch it alone.
Well, if that means anything to the quality of the episode, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, first of all, I felt I had to squint through most of it because it was so fucking dark.
It was a very dark episode.
But
that was a creative choice, so you're not allowed to be upset about it.
No, but still, I felt, because I was sitting in my basement, right? So the TV in my basement, for those of you who don't know, is a little further from the couch than I'm used to. So I was literally on the edge of my seat, squinting, trying to make I was like, was that an important person that just got freaking whacked?
I felt the exact same way for the first 25 minutes of this episode.
I felt like I was going to miss the major kills.
Once the red bitch, Melisandre lit the fucking trenches.
Oh, yeah. She was awesome in this movie. In this episode.
It was a movie. It was like it was like 80 minutes.
It was like an hour and a half.
This was the longest episode of Game of Thrones yet.
Mm-hmm.
Once she lit the trenches, I think from that point on, I really didn't have any problem seeing anything, unless it was the dragons fighting.
True.
That was almost impossible to see what was happening.
That wasn't like that fog.
Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of the red woman, she was like coming in clutch in this episode because we haven't seen her in a while.
All right. Let's break this down, because this is a long episode and a lot of shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about it, by the time we reach the end of this conversation, let's say only like 3 things happened. So,
spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler for obviously some fucking thing. So the episode starts really well. I really like the opening shot of this. With it starts on Sam and it goes by. It's one long shot, and it stays on Sam, and then it switches to Tyrion, and it switches to, I think, the people on the wall.
Yeah.
I forget who it is at that point.
The battlements.
Exactly. And it sets the tone really well. It also shows how dark it's going to be.
Yeah.
Which sets the tone really well.
Mm-hmm.
We see the formation of the plan.
Yeah.
So, Kaylin, I want you to try to tell me, what was their plan?
Well, their plan obviously was to just fuck the Dothraki. Like, they're extinct. Like, honestly, that was the most insane thing. I was like, all right, honestly probably your most vicious fighters. Let's put them. Just get rid of them right away.
Let's just send them into the dark void.
Yeah.
Watch them die slowly.
Yeah.
Very slowly.
Yep.
That sequence of their light going out one by one was like 2 to 3 minutes.
Super metaphorical.
Yes. But was it purposeful?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you mean to send them first?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the point of that?
The point of that?
I understand metaphorically speaking, it was the end of the Dothraki, and it was
Yeah.
also to show the threat. The
Yeah.
threat of the dead being the evil darkness in the night just completely absorbing the light of the fire of the Dothraki swords. I got that. I understood the visual aspect of that. But when you think about these plans made by these supposedly really smart people,
Well,
what the fuck was the plan?
for me, I think that I don't know if this was the real plan, but it kind of made sense to me because the Dothraki couldn't exist in Westeros after all this ended. They would have fucked shit up.
So you're saying, from a showrunner standpoint,
They were a liability.
the people writing the show were like, we gotta get these fucking guys out of here.
They've served their purpose,
Oh my
and now
God.
they're just gonna fuck everything up if they survive this.
I thought that was terrible, first of all.
Yeah.
That was not a good way to start this episode. In my opinion, we'll get to how we really felt by the end of this, but not a good start.
Yeah.
Because you wipe out these main characters. So if you think about it, this is the first major death of the episode. It's the Dothraki.
Mm-hmm.
The Dothraki are now gone. There's none left.
Extinct.
Except for maybe, I guess,
I think a couple of them made it back.
I think a couple of them made it back, but I think more importantly, like the women of the Dothraki people,
And
I
Jorah.
assume, well, unless they got all fucking stabbed in the crypts. We'll get to that.
Oh no.
Anyways, so we start with the Dothraki charging into the darkness. This was brought up though because of Melisandre. Melisandre shows up randomly out of nowhere, literally
out of nowhere.
literally out of nowhere, literally out of left field.
Yeah.
She doesn't come from the fucking castle.
Nope.
She comes from the field.
Yeah, literally.
Somewhere in the darkness. She just rides up. She just trots along.
She shows up right before, and it looked like she came from. I was really curious about that because it looked like she came from the Night
darkness.
King.
Yeah.
She came from the what are they called? The White Walker forces.
The whites is what the
Yeah.
zombie versions of the White Walkers
Yeah.
are the whites.
So it looked like she came from them. So I was like, oh, is this bitch like a two-timer? Like, is she a double agent? Like, I don't know. Because how did she just make it through that without getting killed? But
The answer is who cares.
yeah.
So she shows up and then she does her prayer thing and now she has the power of fire.
Yeah.
Which
all of a sudden she's super powerful, which she hasn't been all the whole show.
I was gonna ask you, being the I guess, can we spoil the trivia thing now that it's 2 weeks old, or should we leave it? As the winner of trivia, I ask you, is it ever established in the show or in the books that she can create fire?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
I'm just making sure.
No. It's not. It's established that Thoros can. Thoros can flame up his sword.
Thoros does his thing. So I guess in that sense,
Yeah.
a red a red priest follower could technically do that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like a
match.
like a magician's trick.
Oh.
Not a religious power that she
Apparently it is, because that was serious what she did.
So
it was cool with the Dothraki swords what she did, and they all lit up.
Again, visually awesome.
Yeah.
Visually really stunning. It was a really cool visual watching all the Dothraki swords go up just for them to go fucking die.
Yeah.
So they all died. Jorah is in that charge though.
Yeah.
And this was the start of my confusion because Jorah and Ghost run into the darkness.
Yeah.
Ghost doesn't come back.
But
apparently he's alive.
I think he's alive because people I've seen stills of later scenes where he's around.
Yeah, in the next episode,
Yeah.
he's in stills of the next episode.
Yeah.
So apparently Ghost makes it. But Jorah is riding back, but it's so dark. I'm looking at his face. I'm like, is he
what are his
dead?
eyes?
Yeah, exactly. Is he blue? I was looking at his face going, oh wow, he looks really fucked up. And then he shows up later on in the episode. I was like, oh, he's fine.
Oh, he's fine.
I just didn't even notice what his face looked like.
Yeah, he just looked really shocked.
Shook.
Yeah.
Yeah, they fucked them up.
Yeah.
Then they charged. and I really like what they did with the whites. How they were just like a swarm.
The tension was unreal when you were just, because it was pitch black, and it's like you're standing there waiting for them to come to you, and it's like, ugh.
I think we can both agree, regardless of how we end up feeling about the episode as a whole, this episode is anxiety from start to finish.
I would just like to point out too, yes, I agree, but I find the Night King to be comical.
Oh yeah, he looked funny in this episode.
But like, I've always thought that, like,
really?
every time we've seen him.
I thought he was really menacing in Hard Home.
No, I feel like he's funny looking.
No, he looks stupid.
He's really funny looking, but like the nobody White Walkers, like the horde of White Walkers,
The whites.
are freaking
The zombies, yeah.
They're terrifying.
They looked, the whole idea that they were just a fucking sea of zombies, they just poured over each other.
Oh my god, when she lit the trench and they just like threw themselves in to like
Yes.
put out the fire.
That was the Night King's plan,
Yeah.
again, because he's a better fucking general than everybody else, apparently.
Yeah.
So they charge. Grey Worm is in the midst of this. Brienne is in the midst of this. Jamie's in the midst of this.
Yeah.
And all of these people are in a lot of danger.
Yeah, so
and
is
you
Beric,
feel that.
Beric Dondarrion, the Hound. They're
Yes,
all in it. Yeah.
all of them are in the front lines of this battle
Arya.
to start. Arya's not in the front lines. She's on the wall.
Oh, she's up on the
She's
on
shooting
the
her bow.
battlements, yeah.
So that's how the episode starts.
Yeah.
Tyrion and Sansa and Varys are in the crypts with the
Yeah.
women and children. That's established in the last episode. So they're kind of out of commission for most of the episode until later on.
Till later.
So how does this break through? So they basically overwhelm them, right?
Yeah.
On the front
They
lines.
retreat.
So Grey Worm calls for the retreat.
Yeah.
So everyone goes back into the castle.
Except the Unsullied are holding them back.
Yes.
Because fuck the Unsullied, too.
Exactly. I thought the Unsullied were gonna Dothraki. I thought they were gonna end.
Dothraki.
I thought they were gonna go extinct by the end of this episode as well.
Well, that, like, was so horrible to me because I was like, this is really, like, a political statement.
How they're leaving the.
Fuck these foreigners.
Yeah.
Like.
I mean, Grey Worm sets it up perfectly in the last
Yeah.
episode. He's like, these people don't like us.
Yeah, we don't belong here.
Clearly they don't, because they left them there to die.
Yeah.
Well, the easy way to write it off is they're the most badass.
Yeah.
And straight up fighters out of everyone. So obviously they're gonna be the ones that hold everyone off.
Yeah.
But
And I
once
think they're the greatest in numbers, too.
Yes, and once the trenches get lit, they're not making past it.
Yeah.
They're dead.
Yeah.
They're done. So Grey Worm calls for the retreat. Keep in mind, still no main character deaths at this point in the episode.
Yeah.
We're about, 15 minutes in, 15, 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this throughout throughout our podcast because I need to remind everyone how hype everyone was for how many character deaths we could have gotten this
We
episode.
thought everyone was going to die.
We thought a lot of people were dying.
Yeah.
We were chalking up, this guy's got to go, this person's got to go, this person's got to go. So at this point, about 20 minutes in, the whole horde fucking swarms, still no main character deaths. So everyone makes it back inside. And now the horde is climbing on top of each other. Oh, no. They're stopped by the trenches.
They're stopped by the fire, yeah.
Deus Ex Melisandre comes up, and she lights the trenches.
Yeah.
And that stops everyone.
In the nick of time.
In the nick of time. Literally in the nick of time. You see her eyes, the reflection of her eyes, you see a white jumping at her,
Yeah.
and then the fire gets lit.
And then the flames in her eyes.
Exactly.
Super, like, imagery there.
Whoa, super imagery.
Super imagery.
Thank you for that fucking English lesson. Anyways. So, okay. So, cut to. Now we can talk about fucking dumbass Dany.
Yeah.
So, when the Dothraki charge and get themselves killed, which we can only assume is her plan because she's the queen, she gets them all killed. And she's like, you know what? I think I'm going to go help.
Yeah.
And John's like, that's probably not a good
not a
idea.
good idea.
That's not exactly what we talked about here.
They're up on, like, a really safe hill, like,
Yeah,
watching
with
from
two dragons.
Yeah, watching from above.
They're like, all right, we got to wait for the Night King. He's going to show himself. He's going to try to kill Bran. She's like, no, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
So she jumps on her dragon. She takes off. John's like, all right, I'll follow. So they take off. And in the midst of all this, the Night King brings a fucking... In case you couldn't see enough,
Yeah.
the Night King brings a giant
a
fog
fog.
that covers the entire battlefield. So now you can't see double.
Yeah.
The dragons go flying into the air. Dany's wiping out fields of horde
Yeah.
with
Fields
her fire.
Of horde.
I don't know how to describe them.
She's wiping out a lot of the whites.
With her fire, and
With
so
the
is
fire.
John.
Yeah.
And then this is when the fog pours in, and now, do they see the Night King there?
I think no, not yet.
Not yet.
But they're just flying around, and then the what are they called? The lieutenants on the bottom have those things that they threw at them.
Who?
The Lieutenant White Walkers had the spears that they threw at them. Remember?
Did they throw spears at them?
Yeah, because they were burning up all of the whites. So then they threw a spear at them, and that's when she knew, okay, I can't go down there for a bit. And so they were flying
yes.
around.
So yeah, they're flying into the woods out in front of Winterfell.
Yeah.
As the battle's still going on, the dragons kind of fly away.
Yeah.
They're flying through the fog, and then in the fog, that's when they get sideswiped by the Night King.
Yeah,
on the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
The Blue-Eyed White Dragon.
Yes, that's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. You looked really confused. And I am going to refer to it as the Blue Eyes White Dragon the entire episode.
Okay.
So, okay. So the Night Dragon. That's even a better name. The Night King on his Night Dragon. They sideswipe John and Danny.
Mm-hmm. Almost fucking smoked Drogon.
Almost. But by the end of this episode, we realized, even though the Night King had a super cool blue fire dragon, Drogon is still the badass dragon.
The queen dragon.
The queen. Well, yeah, okay. Because in the midst of their almost unseeable battle in the sky,
where you're squinting to see what's going on.
John's dragon, Rhaegal gets a good shot in on the Night Dragon, but the Night Dragon, I think, clips him enough where he gets taken out.
Yeah.
So John falls down to the ground.
Yeah.
And then Drogon and the Night Dragon have their little scuffle, but Drogon really fucks him up. Right?
Yeah.
Because the Night King gets knocked
thrown
off the dragon.
The dragon. He gets thrown off, and then he's fine.
This is my...
Pops right back up.
Well...
Like a daisy.
When he... When he gets knocked off, this is my first audible holy shit moment of the episode where I yell out loud at the television. Because I didn't expect him to get knocked off like that. And I love his dead stare as he's falling. Like he just
doesn't care.
And he's just falling down.
He's like, I'll be fine.
I'll be fine. This is going to be fine, fall. So he hits the ground.
John goes after him.
We don't have to talk about what's going on in the castle at this moment because it's just...
Well, Arya has her stealth scene.
That's my favorite part of the episode. So
that was
I
the
wanna,
most stressful part.
Yeah, I wanna hold that off for a minute because that's my absolute favorite part of this episode.
Okay.
I just want to get through this dragon thing. So
we're almost there.
The Night King falls, and Dany has this epic standoff with him. Great shot of the Night King standing up and just staring at Dany. Dany does the classic Dracarys command, lights the sumbitch up.
For a long time.
For a very long... This is crispy. He is extra crispy.
Toasted.
But he's fine.
So
apparently...
And then he gets the spear.
Well, yeah. So apparently the Night King was immune to fire. There was no notice of that.
Yeah.
We learned it in that exact moment.
All the other White Walkers get, like, roasted by fire.
I mean, I guess in this moment we can suspend disbelief and go, yeah, he's the Night King. We'll let it slide.
Do you know, like, I feel like the Night King has a lot of, like, Voldemort type things about him.
Did he?
Yeah. Because I feel like, you don't, I don't know if you're a fan, like I am.
I'm aware of the movies. I don't know what you're about to go for right now.
But do you know, like, the Horcrux thing?
Yes, I
so
understand
he
how the
split
Horcrux
his soul
works.
and that
to make him immortal.
Yeah, so
sure.
I feel like he made himself in his lieutenants and stuff.
So killing him
through
fire
wasn't
going to work because he's spread himself out enough where a simple strategy like that wasn't going to do it.
That's the vibe I got.
Oh, sure. You know what?
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
And it's kind of like how a basilisk fang could kill a Horcrux.
All right, you're losing people now.
But it's relevant.
No, okay, who cares? No, you're right. Because the relevance of that is only
Dragonglass.
No.
Oh.
only Valerian Steel could do it.
Oh, right, because she used the dagger.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
So only
Steel.
Valerian Steel
Yeah.
was going to be able to do it because only Valerian Steel created him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm only saying this
Wait,
because the fucking showrunners told me.
that's not true.
No, I don't care what you say. The showrunner said this is what happened.
But in the actual scene that they showed, it
Yeah.
was dragonglass.
No,
that
it
they
was
shoved
it
into
was
him.
the knife that was supposed to kill Bran.
Yes, but
That's
remember the
Valerian
scene?
Steel.
Remember the scene a couple seasons back where they showed how the children created him?
Sure.
It was with dragonglass.
It was with Obsidian.
Yeah.
Then the fucking showrunners
Then they
don't
fucked
even
up.
know what they're talking.
They fucked up. I find so many plot holes in this show. It's insane. Like, remember I told you about the whole Melisandre's necklace thing?
Yes.
I-
How she's not wearing it in certain scenes earlier
And
on.
remember how you said, well, maybe it was just like, not meant to be the necklace, and it was just like,
But then she does it
metaphor.
again. And, yeah.
She just did it,
She
and
did
she
it
took
again.
it, and she died.
Well, spoilers. We'll get to that. Yeah, so the show, I watched the inside the episode at the end, and they're like, and then, so they had to use, he said dragonglass. He did say dragonglass, but it wasn't, it was Valerian Steel. Is that dragonglass, I guess?
Maybe it's infused with
I guess
dragonglass.
it's a variation of dragonglass.
Yeah.
But the guy goes,
Another Harry Potter parallel.
he had to stab him where the children of the forest stabbed him.
Yeah, in the
But-
belly.
I thought they stabbed him in the chest.
Like right here.
She stabs him in the side.
Well, maybe she did a little upward motion.
Oh, and the knife
Yeah.
tickled him
Yeah.
in that spot
and she
a little
got
bit,
it. And she got him.
and she got him. Anyways,
Or
Oh.
this could confirm my theory that the Night King will make a return.
it's a popular theory. People are not accepting that this guy's dead.
Because it was like so quick.
It was quick.
That was like, I thought the largest plot of this show
Was the Night
was
King.
the Night King.
So did I.
Why
So
is
did a
Cersei?
lot of people.
Why is Cersei the main thing?
No, we'll get there.
So
we'll talk about
this
it.
brings me to watching Amelia Clark on Jimmy Kimmel,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
because she went on Jimmy Kimmel and she let out that episode 5 is going to be insane.
Okay. Well,
That's
what does
it.
that mean?
She said episode 5 is going to be insane. Watch it on the biggest TV you can.
Okay, but she's probably just talking about another battle.
Well, because it's the traditional episode 9.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that, but it's just going to be another battle, though.
But is it going to be Cersei's battle?
I think if the Night King and the White Walkers were to return by some fashion, they'd have to set it up next episode. It can't just come out of nowhere and all of a
Yeah.
sudden happen in the fifth
I mean,
episode.
I'm pretty convinced that he's dead because he really
Yo, same.
blew to smithereens.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But-
saying. But
I don't know. That just seemed too quick for me.
let's finish this breakdown.
Okay.
We'll have plenty of time at the end of this to just really break down how we felt about this whole thing. But we're
recapping the episode?
We're about halfway through recapping.
We didn't
it.
even talk about the first 2 episodes. We're just talking about episode 3.
No, we're just talking about this fucking episode.
Okay.
I don't even want to talk about those first 2 episodes because they don't even matter.
Oh, okay.
It literally means nothing. At this point, by the end of this episode, those first 2 episodes mean dick.
Well, what about... Okay, let's finish.
Okay. Anyways, so the Night King smiles at Dany,
Yeah.
which was what I thought you meant by comical, but that was funny.
No, he's a comical character. He's like a little duty looking, and
He's duty looking. He's a little duty.
he's got horns. Like
He's got a little duty on his head.
the other ones, they got guts hanging out. Half their ribs are missing.
Yeah, you're talking about the zombies, but
Yeah,
the
they're
White Walkers
terrifying.
are different creatures entirely.
Really?
Yes.
I thought they were all White Walkers.
No. Okay. So,
So why did Sam
I've
kill
been
him?
trying to explain this to you this whole time
How did Sam kill a White Walker then?
because the thing that he kills
Mhm.
was one of those blue guys, the
Oh.
full blue lieutenants.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you
Oh.
remember?
Okay.
And it shatters
Yeah.
like the other ones do.
Yeah,
But
like
but the whites just die. They
Yeah.
don't shatter. They just die.
Oh, they just lay there.
Because they're whites. They're not White Walkers. Whites spelled W-I-G-H-T.
I know.
Yeah.
But what about the whites that followed Bran and Mira into the tree, the
Sure.
Donswood tree? They shattered.
I think they exploded because the Children of the Forest had bombs.
No, when they ran into the tree, they exploded.
No, that was the force field. we're getting off topic.
A force field?
Yeah, they tried to run into the tree.
Yeah.
And then they vaporized, right?
They exploded.
That was from the magic.
Oh.
A force field of magic from the Children of the Forest and the Three-Eyed Raven.
All right.
Again, we're getting off topic because it doesn't matter. They're all fucking dead. Doesn't matter. So anyways, cut back to the castle. So now the castle's being overrun, and here we get Arya being a badass.
Yeah.
The start of Arya being a badass for this
Arya,
episode.
She was that bitch.
The MVP of the episode.
According to Sophie Turner, did you see? Oh, no, you don't have Instagram?
No, I don't have Instagram.
Sophie Turner's Instagram story consisted of her yelling, Arya is that bitch. Yes, she did. I was like, yes, girl.
Naturally, she would do that. I'm glad you told us that. We're all better off now knowing.
Everybody who's listening probably saw it, but you just like live under a rock, so.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that didn't happen. Anyways, so Arya goes through a bunch of fucking whites. She's just slicing people up. She's doing all her super cool stick moves that she learned from Bravos.
And then they keep coming, and she's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, she gets her head smacked up.
Yeah.
She gets pushed into a wall. She's definitely concussed.
Yeah.
And you can see it on her face.
Yeah.
What's her face? What's the actress? Maisie Williams.
Maisie Williams. Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah.
She does a great job in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So she's running, and then we have this great moment with Barrack and the Hound fighting in the courtyard.
Yep.
And the Hound is scared.
He's bitching out.
And Barrack's like, come on, we need you.
Come on!
And he's like, fuck it. I don't want to do it, the Hound. And then
I don't want to.
And Barrack's like, well, look at her. And then Arya kills a couple guys and then runs away. And then the Hound's like, all right, I'm in.
I want to look like a girl.
I think the idea being he really cares for Arya, so he's going to help her.
Yeah.
You don't sound happy about that.
No.
Why?
Because I don't like the Hound.
Oh, you just don't like the Hound?
Yeah.
But you knew going into this episode that he was going to survive because he has to fight the Mountain.
I kind of wish that he was still on Arya's list.
Okay. And, well, I disagree. I like the Hound a lot. Why don't you like the Hound? I think he had a good arc.
I don't know. I just don't like him. He's like dirty and.
Oh my! He has weird scars on his face. I don't like the way he looks.
And he's just like, he just can't make up his mind whether he wants to be a good person or a bad person. It's like annoying.
I think he's made up his mind.
Remember when he says, "I should have fucked your sister," like I should have.
Yeah. That's totally something he would say.
But then he takes care
but he
of
doesn't
Arya.
But he doesn't mean it. Is the point? He talks a lot of shit, and that's what I think they show really well, especially in this episode and way back with the Battle of Blackwater. He's kind of a pussy.
Yeah.
He's a really good fighter, but at the end,
fire.
He's just a big bitch.
Yeah.
But then Arya brings him back. He gets grounded. He's like, all right, I'll go help the little girl.
The little girl.
So she runs into the library.
Mm-hmm. Ah.
So this whole scene, it just changes. Like the whole episode is this big, huge fucking battle.
Yeah.
And then everything goes quiet. Arya's in the bowels of the castle. She's in the library. And now she has to get through a library filled with whites.
I have a really funny thing that I thought of.
Really
funny thing because, so I just want to say that scene gave me intense agita. Like I was just on the edge of my seat like, oh my god, this is like the most intense feeling I've ever got from this show. But, so, I teach little kids on occasion. And when I take them to gym class, the gym teacher has them do this song that tells them to run, jump, skip, gallop. But the song kind of matches the movement, like the noise matches the movement. So then there's a point where they have to tiptoe. And I just could not stop thinking of the song because it was like, do, 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 do.
Oh my god.
do, do, do. I was like, Arya's doing that.
Does that add to the tension for
you?
you?
I was like,
singing a song for children as this fucking scene is happening.
I could not stop thinking about it. I was like, this needs to be the background music because it's so perfect.
I'm sure somebody could go re-edit that scene with that music.
Yeah.
And it would fit perfectly.
With the shh. Yeah. That's the best part.
That's the best part.
Because all the scary guys are in there.
All
and
the
you're just like,
guys.
Shh, Arya, shh.
So she does her super stealth ability.
Yeah.
She does all her stealth moves that she learned from the Faceless People.
The Faceless Men.
The Faceless Men. She gets through the library in a really fucking intense scene. The part where she's under the table and the white drops down and she's not there.
Yep.
Pretty cool stuff. And I really liked the tone shift.
Yeah.
I liked how we got a fucking 30 to 40 minutes of just straight fucking battle.
Chaos. Like, where you almost couldn't follow what was going on.
Oh, yeah.
And then you, like, zero in and you're, like, totally focused on her.
They really did something special with that scene.
Yeah.
She makes it out, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
But then, just as she makes it out, 1,000 more whites
come
burst.
Running. Because they're just endless.
Yeah.
They just keep coming.
So she has to go running, and that's when she meets up with Barrick and the Hound. And then we get the first actual death of the episode.
Are you talking about Ed?
Oh, no, that happened a while ago.
Yeah.
See, that's how little it matters.
Yeah.
Ed, the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch.
He was the first real, like, main character death, even though
But he wasn't a main character.
He was a sub, like, a minor. Like a, you know, like a supporting actor kind of thing.
The first face that we recognized.
Yeah.
Was the first recognizable face that died was Ed.
And was it you who said that it mirrored Pip's death on the Battle for the Wall?
No, I don't remember saying that.
Do you remember? Because it was Sam, right? Sam was the one who witnessed it. So do you remember on the Battle for the Wall, Sam and Pip were up on the with the crossbows, and Pip was like, "Oh, I got one," and then he gets a crossbow like straight through the throat.
Yeah.
Same type of thing with Ed.
Similar, except it was all about how Sam was a pussy, and Ed was like, "Come on, Sam," and then he gets stabbed.
Ed saved him, and then
he dies.
Yeah.
For Sam. Sam's a big bitch this entire episode.
For the Watch.
For his whole life, he's a big bitch. Yeah, so Ed died a while ago. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Whoops, forgot about him.
Sorry, Ed.
But cut back to Barrick.
Yeah.
Who goes out like a champ.
Oh my god.
Gets stabbed 800 times.
He fulfilled his purpose.
He does. For the Lord of Light.
Got raised up again 9 times just to save Arya's ass.
To get stabbed 9 times in the back.
Yeah.
And it was such a weird scene because he's standing, he's holding his arms up on the wall, like holding them back, getting stabbed constantly. They make it through the door, and he comes through the door. I'm like, didn't you just get fucking stabbed 1,000 times? How did you make it?
I mean, I guess he's a professional at taking injuries
at dying?
like that. Yeah.
Because then he dies immediately.
He
dies immediately, and Arya's like, oh no. And then you're like, you don't know him.
You
Run.
don't know. He's done this before.
Yeah. More importantly, you don't fucking care about him. So keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And they do. They make it to some random room where Melisandre's just chilling by a fire, naturally.
She has spent this entire time, after she lit the trenches, she just, like, moseys back on inside, lights a fire.
She was cold.
She doesn't get cold. She's the
I was
woman.
making a joke, but thank you for shitting on it.
It was a terrible joke because it was just not right.
You know what? You take it. Go ahead.
So she's just sitting in that room with a fire, just like staring into it like a weirdo. And
not like that's what she's been doing the entire series.
Well, what is she gonna do now? Like, she's just gonna tell Arya, okay, she gives us the nice little hint that Arya's just gonna make all the major kills.
The most embarrassingly unfortunate part of this episode.
That they hinted at that?
They spoiled it. Did you not really realize? Did you not understand at that exact moment?
I did.
That Arya was going to be the one that finishes the Night King
from
that point forward.
But what makes you think that they wouldn't just pull
Take
that
it away
out from
you?
under us?
Well, that's what they almost saved it with the Night King catching her in midair.
Yeah.
And that's when you're like, oh shit, and then she gets him anyway. But still, it would have been more because the whole fucking point of Arya killing the Night King was for shock value.
Yeah.
She has no
tie to him.
Real tie to him. Exactly.
Everybody
she has
wanted
no real
Jon
purpose.
to do that.
It's not that we wanted. It made sense.
I'm not saying
it was the correct thing to do.
I'm saying the people, the public.
Yes.
We're all like, Jon deserved that kill, and I was like, why? Like, Arya's, I think, is a better fighter than Jon is.
I guess. I don't know about that.
I think she is.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I think Jon is objectively the best fighter. It's every situation he gets in, he gets himself
because
out
he's
of.
a man?
Yeah. You want to set it up? I'll fucking knock it out of the park.
You heard it here first.
No. It's not because he's a man. It's because they've established him as the best fighter. Arya learned a lot of cool shit and like twirly shit. She's a really good stealth fighter. She's really good at hiding and sneaking up on people.
She's like quick.
Yeah, but even when she's like training with Brienne,
Mm-hmm.
they don't really establish a winner.
I guess because
Brienne has a good hand on her too.
Because Arya doesn't have the brute strength.
Why? Because she's a big woman. You heard it here first. Anyways.
Size does matter.
Yeah, clearly. So all that shit happens.
Yeah.
Melisandre says, remember that one time way back when I gave you that one weird line where you were going to shut eyes forever?
It came back.
Not red eyes. Brown eyes.
Blue eyes.
Green eyes.
And blue eyes.
And then she basically stares into the camera and winks and goes,
blue eyes.
And the whole audience goes, oh, what? And Arya jogs off. Jogs off to...
Then we don't see her for
the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
The rest of the episode.
Yeah, that's how I knew that it was going to be her, because I was like, where'd she go?
My point is, everyone should have known by then.
Yeah, I think...
But that kind of spoils it.
I think the hint when it happened was lost on me, but when she disappeared, I was like, I put it together.
Luckily for me, I out loud said, Arya's going to kill the Night King. So it didn't go lost on me, and I'm not going to lie to you and say who's in the back of my mind. No, I literally out loud. She says blue eyes, I go, Arya's going to kill the Night King. Out loud. And from that point on, I'm just waiting for her to show up with the Night King.
She really showed up out of nowhere.
Oh, boy.
She couldn't have showed up maybe 30 seconds earlier to save Theon, but I guess not.
Fuck Theon, though. He deserved to die. He went out.
He needed to go out with some honor, some
He went
dignity.
out the way he should have.
Yep. He went out the way he should have at Winterfell when he took it over.
Yes.
Or at Whispering Wood with Robb Stark.
He killed 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
He burned them to death.
Yeah.
So if you're like, no, Theon should have lived. No. He was a bad person for a long time.
I thought that, from episode 2, that Sansa and Theon were going to, do it.
I don't know about that.
I thought they were.
I guess they could have gone the Grey Worm route.
They were serving some looks to each other.
They did, but I think...
They could have gone the Grey Worm route.
You know what I just realized?
What?
The mic's been facing away from us this entire time.
Are you kidding?
It's been picking us up, but it's not going to sound good for most of this.
Well, we have to keep going.
Well, now we're back, but I mean,
okay.
it's. I'm just gonna up the volume for the middle chunk of this episode, but I just realized that the mic was not in a good position for most of it. You know who's gonna sound really good? You.
Me.
Because it was facing you. Luckily, I'm just naturally louder than you.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
Luckily. What does that mean?
It means that I'm gonna be picked. What the fuck? What do you want that to mean?
No, I don't.
Do you want to be upset about something?
Yeah. I had a really great day, so somebody needs to just
Yeah, rip to your warts.
Yeah.
Rip.
I also, got
I
my
named
schedule
the big one the Night King.
Not the Night Dragon.
Not the Night Dragon. Night Dragon. Who fucking cares? Where the fuck are we? Okay, so the Night King fell, and he's walking now towards Bran. The whole point of this is to protect Bran.
Can we just clarify, though, the type of, because I feel like people are going to think I have, genital warts.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, go ahead.
Clarify. They're on my foot.
Were.
They were on my foot.
They're gone now. Huzzah.
That's what happens when you dance for 12 years. You're plagued by foot warts.
Yuck.
Anyways.
So the Night King, he's on his way to Bran in the Godswood. That's where they kept him. That's the plan. The plan was to draw the Night King out with Bran in the Godswood, protected by Theon and his boys.
Mm-hmm.
They all died.
His Bruce.
They all died. They all died. Theon's protecting, similar to Boromir. That's how I described it in out loud when I was watching the episode.
Same with the arrows.
He's kind of going with the. They're kind of going with the Boromir look here.
Running out of arrows.
Where he's just killing people left and right, and then.
Yeah, he really
stands off to the big guy.
Theon's a pretty formidable fighter, from what we've seen.
Theon, yeah, they establish in the first season that he's really good with a bow.
And he saves Bran from the wildlings.
Exactly. That's when they establish him as really good with a bow. But they don't really establish him as a fighter. So the stick movement thing, I was just like, all right, whatever. What are you looking at? What are you doing? What's going on here? For the audio listeners, what was that?
I was doing Theon's...
Oh, Theon's movements with the weapon?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He's apparently he's good with a spear.
A spear?
That's what it was. Wasn't it a spear?
It was the bow. Because he ran
A bow staff?
He ran out of arrows, so he used his bow to like whack him.
Was that what that was? Well,
Yeah.
then why did he charge at the Night King like it was a spear?
Because it was sharp.
Oh, it's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Good thinking, Theon.
Yep. Well,
You're still fucking dead.
He didn't have anything else, so.
So they're fighting off. The Night King is on his way to Bran. Jon stops him. He catches up to him real quick, but then the Night King just does his classic raise the dead move.
Jon tries to get to him before they raise.
He runs and then he's surrounded.
Yeah.
I think, does the Night King smile again? Probably.
Smug bastard.
Smug little bastard. He walks away.
He's funny looking anyway.
Apparently, comical.
I'm
trying to think if there's anything else important. I don't think so.
Well, Dany gets lost in the...
So Dany, Drogon... Oh, yeah.
Drogon leaves her.
What's his face? The Night King misses his Olympic toss.
Yeah,
0 out of 10. He gets the one really good shot into Viserion last season, but misses his big fucking chance this season to get Drogon. But Drogon's really fucked up by a swarm of whites. Mm-hmm. So he flies away to get them off of him, leaving Dany on the ground.
Yeah.
And
rookie move.
Rookie move for a Drogon. Can't you leave your captain out in the woods there? So Dany's being surrounded, and then she gets lifted up by none other than
Ser Jorah,
the hero,
Old Faithful,
friend zone extraordinaire.
Oh my god!
You live in the friend zone, you die in the friend zone. Jorah goes out swinging for the only way he possibly could have, I imagine, protecting Dany. He just basically keeps fighting for the rest of the episode to protect Dany. He's getting stabbed left and right, but he's still going. I love the shot at the end when they all start falling, and that's when he goes down on his knees. Like he's going until he can't anymore.
Yep.
And then when they're all dead, that's when he finally can.
He dies in her
He can
arms.
finally go naturally.
He beats Grayscale, and he dies.
And then he comes back and dies.
Yep.
But if he were to die,
that was the way to go.
That was the way to go. So I will give the show props for that. That was a good death for a very... That is a major character.
Yeah.
That was not the first, because he dies technically second to last.
Yeah.
But that was, in my opinion, the biggest good guy death of the episode.
That was sad.
So cut back to the Gods book. So the Night King is there with his posse. I love that shot when he turns the corner with his White Walker lieutenants, and they're all just fucking walking in slowly, like with their swag.
Gangstaline.
Yeah, exactly. I thought a dance number was gonna break out. From this point on, by the way, incredible score.
Yeah.
Were you paying attention to the music?
The music was phenomenal.
Beautiful.
We always have really good music in this show, but it was top notch this episode.
Ramen Djawadi. I remember now.
Ramen. Like the noodles.
Ramen like the noodles, Djawadi.
Yeah.
Fantastic
trivia
composer.
Question for those
It was a trivia question. Go watch it. It's great. It was great. The music was great. And then he stares off with Bran for about 5 straight minutes. Mm-hmm. Stares off. He's slowly walking towards him. It's in slow motion, the shot. Mm-hmm. Theon charges him.
Dead.
Right before he charges him, Bran tells him, "You're a good man." He wasn't. And he goes, "Thank you," naturally, because he's protecting him. Remember the part when Bran just like, "I'm going to go now." Yeah. It's like, "Where?" And he just goes,
Theon's like, "Where are you going?" You can't walk.
Could you imagine? You don't have any legs. All that is to say, fuck Bran.
Yeah, worst character.
He
had some great comic relief in the first
he's
two episodes.
He's comic relief, but in the worst way. He's not supposed to be comic relief.
Winnie's fucking lurking and
somehow
staring.
This boy in a wheelchair,
wheels around,
is the sneakiest motherfucker in Winterfell. I'm waiting for the episode where Arya's standing there, and then he just appears behind her, and she gets startled by him. Like, how did you learn that? I learned from you.
I know everything. I'm the three-eyed raven.
What a dickhead. So the Night King slowly kills Theon. Slowly walks towards Bran. The music is pumping up. It's
John's
great.
desperately trying to get to Bran, but Viserion's like fucking
The Night
everything up.
Dragon has stopped him in his
Yeah.
tracks. So John is. I thought we were gonna get John killing the dragon. I thought we were gonna get that a shot of him getting him before
Yeah.
the ending. Like maybe to even still hint that it was gonna be John, but no, we got a face-off, like a generic dramatic face-off where you know he's not gonna actually die.
Do you know that I really think that John had the least like fighting time in this whole.
Yeah, because he's on the dragon.
He was just
95% of the time.
flying around.
But his
for the whole
shot,
time.
his shot of walking through the castle, fucking people up,
Yeah,
was a great shot.
that's true.
That was really cool, and
Yeah.
he busts through people. I love how when he's getting through the main characters, because Tormund, Brienne, Jaime, Podrick, and Sam are all fighting for their lives, and Grey
Yeah.
Worm are all fighting for their lives. They're all looking super cool. Sam is like crying and
Yeah.
stabbing Whites on the ground on his back and crying. John looks at him and he's just like, "Fuck you," and he just turns around and walks away.
He's like, "You're just a lost cause."
You're a lost cause. Which under normal circumstances he would go save Sam.
Yeah, but it was too much.
He needed to get to
Yeah.
where he was going, so it built the tension really well
Yeah.
that he was going to get there.
No matter what.
Exactly, whatever it takes. That's an Avengers reference. I shouldn't have said that. So, your face. It's not a spoiler. He
Well, now I know. Was that a prediction?
no,
Okay.
it's a line from the trailer.
Did somebody
and the movie.
predict it?
What?
Did
That someone
somebody-
says whatever it takes?
Did somebody predict that in our Avengers speculation?
I just said a line that was in the trailer. There was nothing to predict.
Oh, it was in the trailer.
Yes.
Okay, never mind. Carry
What
on.
the fuck?
Carry
Anyways, so John gets stopped by Viserion. So now the Night King is right in front of Bran,
on. Yeah.
reaching for his giant fucking ice sword.
Yeah. And Bran is just like
Just dead staring him still.
no
Doesn't look
emotion.
scared. Doesn't look upset.
Nope.
He's just kind of looking.
Yep.
And then he, like an asshole, kind of gives it away. He like looks past him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I wonder what that is.
Here goes my sister.
I wouldn't have been surprised. Hey, Arya. He just says out loud. So we have the shot of him lifting up the sword, and then it cuts to one of the White Walkers.
Oh.
No. Relax. We're almost there. It cuts to one of the White Walkers, and you see his hair, like, blow, like, in the wind.
Yeah.
Because that's how fucking quick she is, apparently.
Catching all the. She's like, what is his name? Quicksilver?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. That's one of the people that's fast.
You want to see me do it again?
Right. So she blows past the White Walkers somehow. I guess
in the slow motion scene.
in the slow motion scene, she's the fastest person in the slow motion scene. The Night King is lifting for his sword, and
then
then
Arya,
in the darkness, leaps through, screams naturally.
the best battle pose of the whole episode.
Kalen's doing an
I'm
impersonation
doing
of it.
and it was awesome.
It's
She
spot
goes-
on. Yeah. But then she gets fucking caught.
And then she gets the
She gets caught right in the throat.
by the throat.
So at that moment, so Arya's jumping for it, and like I said, at that moment I knew Arya was gonna kill the Night King, but then she leaps and gets caught, and that floods you with the Game of Thrones emotion of they're gonna fucking kill
Yeah,
her. They're gonna fucking kill her.
This is it. This is what we've been waiting for. This is the death.
And then 2.5 seconds later, she pulls the classic,
Drops the knife.
catches it, and fucking jabs him in the chest. The biggest, second to the Jon Snow clanking with the
Yeah.
White Walker, biggest fucking fist pump cheer moment
Yeah.
of the entire
Yeah.
series. I screamed out loud when
did
she
I.
fucking
I
got
was
him.
like,
Yes. I freaked the fuck out when she stabbed him. And then he exploded, along with everyone else.
Along with everyone else. John, he was trying to fight off those other ones that he had raised when he fell off the dragon. Drop dead. Dany, drop dead. Jorah dies. Everybody just gets relieved.
Everything's done.
Everything's done.
The battle, the long night, the great war
Yeah.
is over.
Is
We're done.
won.
We're done 3
The
episodes
Great War is won.
in. We're done. We can go home now, right?
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
But now we have to resolve the whole Cersei problem.
We'll now we can talk about that. Really quick, though, Lyanna Mormont,
Oh my
the best-
god! That was the best death.
the best side character death.
Yeah.
For fucking sure.
She was amazing.
She had 2 scenes in the series,
Mhm.
and now this scene.
The littlest soldier took
Yes.
out the giant.
She gets
opponent.
smacked the fuck up when
Yeah.
when the zombie giant bursts through the door,
Yeah.
which is hilarious. And then she has an incredible battle phase.
She rallies.
She screams, charges it.
Yeah.
The thing grabs her, lifts her up, and breaks every bone in her body.
But he brings her really close.
To his face.
I thought he was gonna.
I thought he was gonna eat her too. But then she just stabs her in the eye with the dragon glass.
Yeah.
She killed the fucking giant.
Yep.
Incredible.
That was insane.
I loved it. Good for her. But anyways, back to the
Anyways.
end. So they're all dead.
Yep.
Everyone's dead. All the whites are dead. All the White Walkers are exploded. The
So-
Night King is exploded.
That plot line is donezo.
So now let's talk about it. What did you think?
I could not believe that we ended
The Night
that
King story.
on episode 3.
Not a fan. Personally, not a fan.
I was saying before, this seemed like the overarching plot. This seemed like the plot that brought
First
everybody
scene.
together.
First scene of Game of Thrones. First scene of the
Yeah.
books.
Yep,
Are the White Walkers.
the White Walkers. So I am so confused as to why the battle between everyone else and Cersei.
So here's my theory, and you're not gonna like it.
Oh,
It's
God.
3 words. Game of Thrones.
Okay.
They named the show Game of Thrones,
Fair.
so the last thing has to be
Fair. The
Game of
the
Thrones.
game for the throne.
It has to be about the
Yeah,
thrones.
okay.
So
Fair. I agree.
Yeah.
I think I agree.
it has to be like it. I guess for the show, it has to be that way. I don't know what the books. I don't even know if we're ever gonna get those books.
Mhm.
But if we ever do, I don't know what his approach is gonna be.
Yeah.
But for me, the last 2 weeks, and this is why I don't care to talk about those first 2 weeks, because the first 2 weeks was building up this episode,
Yeah.
where they were gonna end the Night King storyline. So I'm
Yeah.
like, well, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Who cares what happened before? Because this is it. This is the final
Nothing
part
really
of that
happened
story.
before except like John.
They just got there.
Yeah, and John revealed the whole lineage story to Dany.
Yeah, instantly.
Yeah.
They resolved that really fast. Well, not resolved, but they talked about it
Yeah.
already. So
now it's all known.
now everyone knows.
Yeah.
Everyone knows they're banging
Yeah.
and they're ancestral. So
Yeah.
now the cat's out of the dragon's out of the bag. Ah.
The dragon's out of the north.
Ah. And in her south.
Ah!
High five. That was filthy. So, for what we got, because I was accepting it, I grieved for the thought of the Night King being the final battle of the series.
Mhm.
I grieved for like a week,
Yeah.
and then I was like, all right, I'm accepting this.
Yeah.
Cersei's gonna be the final villain, but I'll accept the Night King's. Whatever episode this is, I'm gonna accept what happens.
How is this going to end? Because a lot of the cast members have said that the ending is satisfying but brutal. How is this going to end?
I think Jon Snow lives. That could be the satisfying part, but I think most of our favorites are gonna die.
I think Dany's going to die.
Well, I think that's almost a given at this
Yeah.
point. I think she's gonna be.
because they're the rivals for the throne
Yeah, I
now.
think she's gonna be a bad guy.
Cersei's dead for sure.
Everyone's calling it that Dany's gonna turn evil,
Ooh.
and I think they're right. I think it's the right call.
Okay.
I'm not saying like it's the right thing to do because
Turn into
who
the
the
Mad
fuck?
King.
Exactly, she's gonna
Got
be
it.
the Mad Queen by the end
Got it.
because incest is bad,
Okay.
and when you're born from incest,
You're fucked up.
you're gonna be fucked up forever.
Yeah.
So
Forever.
your whole lineage is fucked up,
Or if you don't die first.
which happens to most of them.
Like Rhaegar.
Poor Rhaegar.
Yeah. Anyways.
So the episode is the finale of the White Walker storyline.
Call it a mid-season finale.
It's a mid-season finale. Sure, that's not a bad way of describing it because it's the second longest episode of the season. It's this, and then the final episode is gonna be the longest.
The longest battle in TV and cinema history.
It's true. It was a whole battle from start to finish.
The entire 80 minutes.
We didn't even talk about the crypts, but who cares? Because none of those characters died.
Right, but
It's just the zombies popped out and started killing the people, the
Tyrion
women
and
and children.
Tyrion and Sansa had a moment.
They had a moment. Are they gonna bang
I don't know.
now that Theon's dead? And Tyrion actually has a penis.
Is Sansa gonna bang anyone?
It's entirely possible she doesn't. They're kind of building this character as like a, I don't really like men anymore.
Yeah.
And you kind of get it.
Yeah.
So if she didn't,
We understand
yeah,
why.
if she didn't, we'd be like, you know what, you've earned that
Yeah.
much. You don't have to be around these people anymore.
Arya was the best sex scene. That was amazing.
Oh God.
What?
She's a child.
She's not a child. She was 21.
I know, but Arya.
She's just small.
Arya is a child. She's just small. She looks like a kid. She looks like a little boy.
She does look like a little boy.
Yeah.
But I guess that's Gendry's thing.
Ugh. Oh, God. That actor's like 35.
I mean,
He was 20 when they started, and she was 12. Oh, Jesus. All right. That doesn't, like, again.
I think they asked Maisie, like, if she was okay with it.
Well, yes. When they, I remember them talking about it, and they said, they told her, you can show as much or as little as you want. And she was like, that's about as much as
They
I
didn't
want.
give her the option of doing it?
No, the scene was the scene.
Oh, it's happening.
No, the scene is the scene. They knew that was happening. But they said, the scene will be shot how you want it to be shot.
She showed whatever.
She did a small amount.
Little side boob. Little booty.
Ugh.
She had the best line in the show.
What's the best line?
She goes, I'm not the red woman, take your own bloody pants off.
Good one. Let's talk about episode 3, though, for a second.
The real best line was, what do we say? What is it?
What do we say to death?
What do we say
There's the
to
god
death?
of death.
What do we say to the god of death? Not today.
Again, another dead giveaway that the end was going to be the end.
Not today.
She literally said not today to the god of death.
Yep.
Cool.
Cool.
That was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Was it everything you wanted it to be?
I honestly,
Sure.
I had no expectations. Like, my
Really?
expectations were, okay, that's not fair. I had high expectations, but I also had no idea what to expect.
I guess that's fair.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I knew it was going to be awesome, but at the same time, like, I was like, I have no idea where this is going to end or this is going to go.
That's entirely fair. I think that's a 100% true statement because, like we talked about in the beginning of this, everyone was predicting things. Everyone was like, this is going to happen. This guy's going to die. This person's going to die. Almost none of it came true.
Yeah.
Not the person anyone expected killed the Night King.
Yeah.
And almost none of the main characters died.
Yeah.
2 main characters died. Theon and Jorah.
And the Night King.
Yes. Technically the Night King, I guess. But 2 of the main good guys died.
Sorry, R.I.P. Dothraki.
One of the main concepts of the show died. Was the Dothraki. The Night's Watch, I'd assume, is dead. Because every Lord Commander's dying.
Yeah.
So why keep going?
Also,
Also the point of them.
We don't need the
The point of them was the Wildlings and the White Walkers, and they're both gone. So who cares?
Well, the Wildlings are buddies now. We're friends with them
exactly.
now.
So the concept of the Wildling terrorists is done.
Mm-hmm.
And the White Walkers are now what we assume to be gone for good.
Forever.
So there's no more need for the Night's Watch. Fuck the Dothraki, they're dead.
Most of the Unsullied
Most
are
of
dead.
the Unsullied got fucked up, but they're still gone, and
Yeah.
Grey Worm's still there.
Yep.
Surprisingly.
Yep.
Who would you say is the biggest shock survivor of this episode?
Tormund.
Really?
I thought for sure Tormund was going to eat it in this episode.
My money was on Grey Worm.
Really?
My money was 100% on Grey Worm.
Grey Worm has
They teased it like 3 times that he was going to be, like, he was going to, maybe he was going to sacrifice himself to light the fires. Maybe he was going to die with his Unsullied.
Still might die in the Game of Thrones.
That's what,
but
once this episode ended, I said, there has to be more death, right? There has to be more death.
But he has Missandei to live for.
But he has Missandei to die for. That's how Game of Thrones works. You know that. You know that's how it works. If it's really Game of Thrones proper, they'll both die. So
They'll both die
they'll
and
both
live
die
together in death.
In death. They're never gonna make it back to that beach if Game of Thrones stays true to Game of Thrones. So
That's so sad.
Yeah, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's the way this fucking show works.
I just want to know what the cast is saying is the satisfying ending. What is the satisfying ending?
You'll just have to wait 3 weeks.
Is it going to be satisfying for me? I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not.
It probably won't be satisfying for everyone. I don't think this episode was fully satisfying.
No.
I think it was a really great episode of television. It was fucking fascinating, anxiety driven.
Provoking?
Yeah, it was like 80 minutes of anxiety.
Basically all the feels
All the
happened.
way up until when Arya stabbed the Night King.
Yeah.
It was straight anxiety.
Yeah.
Driven all the way through.
Absolutely.
But all in all, I was like, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
We're done.
Yeah.
What's the point?
The big story is over.
One of our friends...
So now what's going to happen, though? Like, is Dany gonna... Like, is Jon gonna stick with Dany? Like, are they gonna be together?
That's all the gossipy intrigue going into these.
Are they gonna fight? Is
Or
it gonna be...
fuck?
Is
Probably,
Is it gonna be,
again.
like, a split war? Like, is the North gonna try to fight Dany and Cersei? Or, like, are they gonna fight Cersei and then fight each other?
So here's my thought. there can't be another battle like that.
Yeah.
There can't be. So when Emilia Clarke says watch it on the biggest screen possible, I'm sure it'll be a big epic thing. I don't think it's going to be nearly as long.
No.
Or as...
Because it's episode 5.
Straining or as big and grand. I think what we're going to get is more in shock value towards, like, the Red Wedding. I think we're going to get another...
All those deaths.
Yes, I think we're going to get another Red Wedding level episode where so many people die in one episode. I think we're bound to get that, and also I think the finale of the show is going to be more in turn with, like, the circle of life of when Jaime killed the Mad King. I think that's how the show ends. I think the show ends with someone killing a king / queen, and a lot of people are saying there's not going to be an Iron Throne, and I just don't know if I believe that.
I don't think that's true at all.
I think somebody sits on one at the end.
Or no one does.
Well, that's what the theory of there's not going to be an Iron Throne.
Oh,
no one sits on it because there's not going to be one.
I thought you meant the literal thing. I was like, no, I think it's going to be there.
No, I'm saying I think somebody wins.
Okay.
And I think it's not going to be who we think, but I don't think John's going to die. I don't think he's going to be king, but I don't think he's going to die.
Are we going to meet, well, in the books, can I talk about the books for a second?
Sure, I don't fucking care.
In the books,
we're almost done anyway.
You know, Rhaegar and Elia Martell had 2 children.
Yes.
In the books, that son came back.
Yes. In the books, it's only still alluded to that Jon is the son of the Targaryens. They haven't clarified it yet. They haven't gone that far. But in the books, there has been someone who has now revealed themselves to be the son of Rhaegar Targaryen. And Elia. So, yeah, not Lyanna Stark, but Elia Martell. So, that's in the books, and this was obviously never covered in the show, so it doesn't matter. So it's not going to reappear.
Okay.
Why would...
I don't know.
In the last 3 episodes, you think they're going to be like, oh, by the way, this guy! That's...
Maybe someone will reveal themselves to be that guy.
Well, no, okay, so that's more logical, but I didn't think they were going to be like, oh, and then the door swings open, and it's just some person we've never met before.
Like Tyrion.
By the way, I'm the other son.
Like, there's the theory that Tyrion's a Targaryen.
Yes.
That's a mouthful.
That's been
Tyrion Targaryen.
Tyrion Targaryen. That has been a thing for a long time. I don't know if the show's going to follow through. I think the books are more likely to build off of that, but I don't think the show's going to pull the trigger on that.
That we don't ever know will happen.
Maybe.
Also,
maybe one day.
I also want to point out the parallels between, because I read all the prehistory books, like the big prehistory of Westeros. I read A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and I read Fire and Blood. And especially with Fire and Blood, this episode 3 with Jon and Dany and the Night King being dragon riders is very reminiscent of the historical Dance of Dragons and the history of Westeros. So, like, it was like the same thing happening again. Like, dragons being shot out of the sky, dragon versus dragon, brother against sister, like that kind of thing. So. Well,
yeah, I think the show has done a good job of portraying this as well, as that history repeats itself.
Yeah.
Because the Long Night happened way back in the Dizzy.
Yeah, in the Dizzy.
And that's why they built the wall.
Yeah.
But now that the Night King's dead, it's hard to tell where they're going to go with that part of the story. So now the history repeating itself has to come from the Game of Thrones, the actual battle for the throne.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Should we wrap this up?
I think we're done.
We have no Avengers.
I was just about to say, well, technically,
you
can make one more. Kaylin can make one more speculation, because I know what happens. I've now seen it twice before Kaylin has even seen it once. So you are allowed to make one more speculation, and whenever we decide to record, because it probably won't be next Thursday, we might record it sooner.
So I can be part of it.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to. Pulling back the curtain, I don't want to do it tonight. It's going to be a lot of work.
I know. Well, then if you don't do it tonight, I can be part of it because I'm seeing it this weekend.
So we'll try to get you in it. I've wrote down everyone's predictions.
I have it in my notes.
So I can now add your final one to it. Go ahead, Kaylin. Your final Avengers 4 speculation for the This is the final one. This is the last Avengers 4 speculation section.
And it's me.
And it's Kaylin. Go ahead.
Said it like that. I think that before Gamora makes her grand return, Star-Lord is gonna kiss somebody else.
Star-Lord will kiss someone else. Got it.
He had no reaction when I said that either.
Why would I?
No
Why would
reaction.
I ruin that for you?
I don't know, so I can't hide emotion at all. So.
I'm good at not giving away shit, so.
Okay.
I hope you enjoy the movie.
Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed this Game of Thrones episode 3.
From the duo, the Game of Thrones
the
duo.
Dynamic duo.
We have done every Game of Thrones aspect of this podcast so far.
Just us two.
Well,
Except
there was
for
that one
trivia.
time Rob was a part of it.
He was?
In a podcast, we did a Game of Thrones thing with Rob.
Oh, right. And
was-
then
he was
trivia.
there.
And then trivia.
That wasn't a podcast. You son of a bitch. I'm Zach.
I'm Kaylin.
Okay, bye.